Well, it's been a long time, but hi everyone, Blakestrife back at last with another video. Last time we went through Pokemon Platinum with only Pachirisu, and it was an interesting run, but now let's try someone who might make this really hard or really easy. Today's the day we figure out, can I beat Pokemon Black with a team of only Slaking? Slaking stats are incredible. I mean, look at this. There are a base total of 670. That's more than a couple of the legendary stats. However, just like Achilles' heel, it's held back by its horrible ability, Truant, meaning he can't attack every other turn, giving more chances for the enemy Pokemon to attack us. This is probably going to take a while. Let's go over the rules and regulations. In battle, I can only use Slack Off and eventually Slaking. I can use other Pokemon for HMs, but I'm not allowed to send them out to fight or take a hit because that would be pretty cheap. No items in battle either, only Pokeballs or held items are allowed. And finally, no glitches or exploits. But again, that shouldn't be a problem since I don't know any. Let us begin. So I used the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Snivy with Slakoth so that one of our rivals would have Tepig, definitely the hardest one for us to fight because eventually it will become Emboar, a fighting type. I name it Sid, the Slakoth, because somebody here likes him. He comes with a hardy nature, so that means neutral stat gains. Probably too lazy to put in the effort. Get it? Because he's a sloth and effort values and... Anyways, if you haven't wondered already what makes this challenge so hard or very annoying, it's Slakoth's signature ability Truant. The way it works is that every other turn, Slakoth will just not act at all. I can't attack, I can't run away, or use my bag at all. Having a Pokemon who just shuts down like that can make battles and especially grinding out levels be very time consuming. It doesn't help that Gen 5's experience mechanics makes so that Pokemon will give out less XP if your levels are higher than theirs. I mean, take a look at the experience I get from the same level Wild Patrat at 2 different levels. And that's just in the first route. Even so, after gaining a couple levels, the first couple of battles with Anne, Bianca, and Sharon weren't that bad, so I decided to try out the first gym. Chili was our selected opponent, so he started out with Lillipup. It used Work Up as I went for Scratch, dealing good damage. It started using Bite against us on our free turn, and as soon as I tried to attack to take it down, it got a flinch, so we couldn't attack it. What's worse is that it counted as our attacking turn, so Lillipup kept attacking us instead. I managed to take it down after healing with Slack Off, but we got taken down by Pansear soon after. I tried to fight many times after that, trying to put his Pokemon to sleep with Yawn, but I just couldn't deal enough damage by the time they woke up, so Pansear always finished us off. I have to grind a bit more. At level 17 I tried again, and this attempt went much better. Lillipup never attacked us, so I was at full health for Pansear. I used Yawn while I was setting up with Work Up, and luckily 2 scratches were enough to win the trio badge. Good thing too, because I was seriously considering evolving it into a Vigoroth. Speaking of which, not too soon after, it evolved into Vigoroth, which means I don't have to worry about Truant for a while. Now that I can attack normally, the next few important battles went by pretty smoothly until the second gym. I never played this generation enough to remember that Lenora is no pushover. Her Pokemon hit like trucks. Her Herdier has Intimidate, so that means my attack stat is lowered for the whole match, so I had Sid use Yawn to put it to sleep as he misses Takedown. I go for Fury Swipe to see how much damage it would do, as Herdier lands its takedown but then falls asleep. I scratch it a couple of swipes later and it goes down, so Watchhawk is next. I use Yawn again like last time, as Watchhawk uses a boosted Retaliate, bringing Sid down to 4 health. Luckily the boost only lasts for 1 turn, so I use this chance to heal up with Slakoth to take another hit of Retaliate as she falls asleep. I start throwing some hits on Watchhawk, but she wakes up early and finishes me off. A little more strategy and we should triumph. On my second try, however, just as I was about to take out Herdier, she crits me for a one-shot. That actually had me worried. 5th try in, I get to Watchhawk without taking any damage, so I put it to sleep with Yawn and start using Fury Swipes and Scratch to deal some good damage. I go for the finishing blow, but Lenora uses a Super Potion to heal up, and Watchhawk deals big damage with Retaliate. We then start cycling between me missing Fury Swipes, using Yawn, then Slack Off to stay healthy as Watchhawk uses Crunch until finally, she stayed asleep long enough for me to get the win with 1 more scratch. I sure missed these tough battles. I taught Sid Retaliate to give it a better stab, and then we moved on. We are then tasked to retrieve a Dragonite skull from a group of evil adults, despite the fact we are only 10 years old. The world of Pokemon sure is something. Regardless, we defeat them easily and take a very, very long walk to Castelia City, which shows one of the few things I like about this region. Great city, good layout, and good music. Plus, it's the point of the game where the region actually opens up. But enough praising, let's head to the next gym. It didn't go too well in my first couple of tries. Each one of Berg's Pokemon has a stat lowering move, which isn't great when you can only use one Pokemon, especially one who can't attack every turn. He starts out with Whirlipede, then immediately goes for Screech, lowering my defenses by 2 stages. Not that big of a deal. Then he has a Dwebble that uses Sand Attack, lowering my accuracy, so I miss all my hits. Finally, his Ace Levani has Strength Shot, which lowers my speed. Just a complete arsenal against Sid. After 10 attempts, Whirlipede uses Pursuit instead, which allows me to take it down with no problem. Then I have Sid use Yawn to put Dwebble to sleep so he can use Rock Smash and hope for a defense drop of my own. Luckily, even after so many hits and 2 Hyper Potions, Dwebble never woke up, so we were in good shape for Levani this time. Sid uses Yawn as he uses Strength Shot, so now we're slower. I Rock Smash and got a defense drop as Sid survives a Razor Leaf and got the win with 2 Retaliates and scored the Insect badge. Before we were able to leave the city, our rivals won another battle against us, so we obliged by destroying them. However, I do notice that Retaliate is starting to lose its appeal with only having 5 power points, and having Rock Smash is okay, but it's not that great of a coverage move. I mean, come on, it's Rock Smash. We entered Nimbasa City and its game-renowned theme music as we run into some Team Plasma Grunts and eventually N, who invites us on a pretty awkward Ferris wheel ride. Then he casually mentions that he's the king of all these guys, but all he wants is to save Pokemon. Noble, but not the best way of doing things. He challenges us to a battle that we could have lost but managed to get through. Now free of distractions, we can challenge the gym, but surprisingly, when I went to heal at the Pokemon Center, I found the Return TM, which I immediately put on Sid as it has more uses and more attacking power. And I was right, because despite getting paralyzed by her starting Emolga, Sid just mowed through Elisa's team. Nice to have an easy win for a change. Return was so good in fact that Clay's gym went by without any trouble at all. Sid just used Return against his entire team, and it felt great. Unfortunately, all good things must come to an end, because after another rival battle with Bianca, Sid got to level 36, which means he now evolves into Slaking, which in turn means his Truant ability has returned. Take a look at these stats. His attack is almost double the amount of the rest, making him an unstoppable force. That can only attack every other turn. At least he'll be able to one-shot a lot of things. I also teach him Bulldoze once we get to Charge Stone Cave for coverage because I don't want him to run into any ghost types and not be able to hit them. Not much use for it yet as we challenge the Flying Gym and defeat everybody's favorite gym leader Skylar with a clean sweep. As we move on, we have yet another rival battle, this time against Sharon. My goodness, the amount of rival battles you have in this game is astounding. I did a quick Google search and you battled Sharon 7 times before the Elite Four and Bianca 5 times. That's a lot, guys. Your rival's supposed to be like a test of strength in parts of the game, but this is kinda overkill. Mini rants aside, this fight was cake. After getting through Twister Mountain, we run into some more Plasma Grunts as they spiel more about Pokemon, so we just let Sharon handle with them so we can battle at the next gym. And just like usual, we beat his team quickly. I'm starting to see that if a Pokemon isn't tanky enough to take a hit, we'll just breeze by the fights. Oh, and if you notice that my level is much higher than usual since we evolved, it's because of the lucky egg we got from the professor. Next in Dragon Spiral Tower, cool name by the way, we find out that N has awoken Zekrom in a pretty sweet cutscene and tells us to find Reshiram so he can have a worthy opponent for the freedom of Pokemon or something. So we go do that, but all we get is a white stone and nobody knows what to do with it. Bruh. Back on track, we head to the next city and have yet another rival battle against Bianca, but this one gave us some trouble for once. Because of her Stoutland's Intimidate, our attack is lowered for the whole fight, so we can't do as much damage as usual. Her Samurott survives a return and hits us back with a powered up Revenge for good damage, and takes advantage of the turns we can't attack to chip our health away. Then Humusharna confuses us with Psybeam and finishes us off. I was genuinely surprised. Second try and I play it smarter by putting Samurott to sleep first so I have more health with Musharna. When she does come out, Return is still not enough to finish her, so Bianca uses a full restore to heal up. We repeat the same exact exchange, but my health is looking low, so I heal up with Slack Off when I get the chance. Musharna then confuses Sid again with Psybeam and uses Defense Curl on the free turns of Truant to boost her defenses, so when I attack again, she survives the hit. She then puts me to sleep and hits me again with Psybeam, but I wake up just in time to finally hit her with Return and end this never-ending battle. If I fumble a lot saying all that, it's because this took me 20 tries to say. We enter Opelucid City to talk to Drayden, a guy who supposedly knows how to use this stone, but instead tells us a story about the legendary dragons. So instead we battle him and destroy his team of dragons to become a legend in name and badge. All I had left was one last battle with Charon. His inboard kinda gave me some trouble since it was part fighting type now, but it still only took one return for each of his Pokemon for me to gain access to the Elite Four. Before we challenge them, however, I have to rework Sid's moveset. Here's what we're up against. Since Sid can learn both Shadow Claw and Brick Break, 3 of the Elite Four members shouldn't be too bad, but Marshall has all fighting types, which will be our biggest problem, especially when we're trying to heal. Let's take one last look at our stats. Besides our amazing attack stat and mediocre special defense, we're looking pretty good. Make your final guesses if you think we can win this or not. Let's do this. First up is the easy one, Ghost Trainer Chantal. The reason I went after her first is because of her Coffer. Its ability Mummy makes it so that any contact move will make the attacking Pokemon's ability Mummy as well, which works great in our favor since that gets rid of Shruin and makes the rest of the fight a piece of cake since we can actually attack normally. Next is Psychic Trainer Caitlyn. Each one of her Pokemon hits hard with Psychic, but Sid has just enough HP to take her team out with Return and Shadow Claw. Easy victory. After that is Dark Trainer Grimsley, but thanks to Brick Break, he couldn't deal enough damage to take us down, so he went down instead. Last is Fighting Trainer Marshall, and this one was brutal. Throw was an easy one-shot with Return, so next is his Conkeldurr, who deals big damage with Hammer Arm. Luckily we're faster, so another Return takes him down. Mienshao comes out next and drops us to red health with a jump kick as we take it down as well. However, just as Sock comes out, we don't have enough health to take another hit, so we lose. The next 10 tries went by just like the first one where we couldn't take enough hits to win the fight because we couldn't heal or attacks to save ourselves. Truant is just horrible that way. On one attempt, Conkeldurr got a low roll with Hammer Arm so that when we got to Sock, we were able to survive a Karate Chop and heal Stall with Slack Off for a while, but eventually we just went down. Finally, after 10 more tries, Mienshao missed its jump kick, so we had more health coming in for Sock this time. He kept using Karate Chops, but they were just weak enough for Sid to keep using Slack Off in time and attack when he had a chance. After 5 minutes of this cycle, and Sock starting to alternate by using Stone Edge, we were able to land enough hits to finally win this brutal battle. And brutal it was. After all that and getting to the champion, we find out that N got here before us and defeating him and decided to sprout a giant castle surrounding the Pokemon League. Where the heck was he even hiding in this place? We reached the top of the castle, but before we were able to battle him, the game makes us catch Reshiram before the fight and puts it on our team. But since we can't use it, we have to lose the match so that I can put it into the PC. Now that that's done, we can finally battle him with his cool theme music in the background. He starts out with his Zekrom, and it's no pushover as it survives a return from Sid and starts using Fusion Bolts on us. After using a couple of extra moves, it goes down, so next is his Zoroark disguised as Clang. It uses Focus Blast to bring us down to red health, so we have to use our free turn to heal up with Slack Off. After a couple of turns of flamethrowers and healing, it finally messed up Focus Blast, which gives us the chance to put it down with a Brick Break. The real Clang comes out next, but one miss and a Brick Break later, and it goes down. A double Vanilla Scoop comes out next and manages to get a special defense drop on us with Flash Cannon, which he then takes advantage of with Blizzard to finish us off. I've tried and failed this might so many times that I've lost count. On many attempts, I can barely get past Vanillix just to go down to Caracosta because it has Sturdy, so it can't faint from one hit. I even tried giving Sid a Silk Scarf to boost the power of return so that I had more health later down the line, but because of Sturdy and some full restores, it doesn't matter, because N will outlast me. Fighting an entire team of 6 Pokemon with Truant has to be one of the most annoying experiences I had in Pokemon ever. Many attempts later, I got to Vanillix again and got a saving grace because it didn't attack me, it just set up Hail, which means his following Caracosta will get hit by it, negating Sturdy. Not only that, but he missed his Stone Edge, so I got a free KO. All he had left was an Archeops. He hit a weak Stone Edge as I went for Brick Break, bringing him to red health, and uses a full restore on his free attacking turn, which means I was able to use Return to finally take him down. Relieving as it was to finally finish that fight, I still had the final battle with Getsis. Lucky for me though, he also has a Coffer, so after using a Shadow Claw to get the Mummy ability, and him missing a Toxic that for sure would have ended me in the long run, I ended him and his entire team instead, and finally winning the challenge. Even though the credits are rolling, I feel like I still owe you guys some more, so I decided to do the Secret Cynthia fight in the postgame and see if I stand a chance. Here's our team. They're all in the mid to high 70s, so my current level is in no way a match for her. So I decided to spend a whole day grinding Sid up to level 100 and teach him Earthquake to have a better moveset. Let's give it a shot. To spare you the play-by-play, here's a simplified version. Her Spiritomb would be a one-shot 50% of the time, but doesn't pose much of a threat. Lucario would use Aura Sphere instead of close combat, maybe because of my lower special defense, but it was still a one-shot with Earthquake. My Lodic would often get a critical hit with Hydro Pump or lower my speed with Bulldoze, putting me at a disadvantage later. But no problem. Braviary deals good damage with Brave Bird, but thanks to Recoil and me able to stall with Slack Off, all I had to do was wait for the right opportunity to strike. Next is your ace Pokemon Guard Jump, and like always, it's fast and hits like a semi-truck, so I had to play smart. Eventually I realized that Cynthia only uses one full restore per match, so when Guard Jump is weak enough, I deal the killing blow. Last is her Electros, and this thing prevented many of my chances to win because it kept getting a burn with Flamethrower. But eventually, it didn't burn me one attempt and I got the one shot I needed to finish it off, and win the game. I had fun playing the Pokemon Challenge after so long, and I apologize for the long break between videos. I just had a lot of stuff going on in life, but I'm slowly but surely getting back into it. For my next Pokemon video, I thought I'd try something different besides a challenge per se. But like always, you'll have to stay tuned to find out. Just not as long as last time. Hope you all have a good day or night wherever you live, and like always, stay awesome.